Hello and happy holidays. Welcome to the Get Out of Gaming Plus Holiday Edition. My name is Ben,
I'm Alex.
and we are a bi weekly podcast. Uh, Usually, just kind of talk about stuff we want to talk about, whether it's anime, video games, movies, comics, you name it. And this, as you're listening to it right now, is our holiday episode, which we pre record, mostly because that's the time for Alex and I to take a very long and needed break from
Hibernate.
podcasting. Yes. And it's a much needed break so we can get those podcast juices going back again. But this one is a different one that we've done before. So Alex and I talked, and we picked 5 items from our collections that we just think are some of the coolest things that we've ever bought or owned. Not so much like worth a ton of money, but just things that we think are like definitely big talking points in our collections. So we each got 5, and yeah, Alex, I'm going to set you up first to do your first one. I'm
Okay.
kind of, which by the way, for the audio viewers, we will describe what it is for them, but we have not seen each other's things, so we don't really know. I know I got an idea of one thing because he said it, but other than that, I don't know. So these are all a surprise to me.
Okay.
So you know one of mine too. So
Yeah, it's
two of
true.
mine.
Yeah, let me look this up really quick. I want to get dates correct for this. Okay. Um so I'm going to move my camera a little bit as well. So,
We got the moving camera. What?
yeah, so my first thing here, I'm going to for audio listeners, I'm moving the camera. Oop, there's my hair. So right there, right where Chia is, right on the sides of her, there are 2 boxes there, and I've shown them before on the podcasts and all that stuff before. There's also all the other Persona stuff up there, but we're not talking about that Persona stuff. We're talking about this Persona stuff. We're gonna be talking about Persona Trinity Soul. Persona Trinity Soul is something that I bought at a convention on a whim, and we've talked about it before. Um, I bought it because it was it's rare. It's very
Hmm.
rare. Um, the only eBay listings that time when I checked, I can check now actually, I'm curious. Um, it was only for the first volume. Trinity Soul is an anime based on, or it's like a sequel series maybe of, yeah, it's a sequel series of Persona 3. But it's not really canon or anything. It's a spin-off of Persona 3, taking place in like that same-ish world, but in a different city, with the same types of issues and Persona stuff. Let's see. And the anime came out in 2008. And I want to say 2010 is when we got it here and in America, and it's an NIS America thing. NIS America doesn't really exist anymore, necessarily. Um, but they released it, and when they release things, they're always special editions, no matter what. Like that's the only way you can get them, and so because of that, it's very rare. And even back then, Persona wasn't very well regarded. People really enjoyed it, but um, I've talked about this on the podcast back when we had like our previous co-host too. I talked about Persona 5 of being the Metal Gear Solid 5 of Personas. I've said that time and time and again in the sense of um, Persona has always been this niche thing that a lot of people enjoy, like even with like Metal Gear Solid 4 and stuff. Um, but it never really caught the entire world's view, I would say. until Metal Gear Solid 5, which is when everyone was playing it. It wasn't
Right.
just Kojima fans. It was everywhere and everyone was playing it, and like even my dad played it and he didn't enjoy it. But like still like he didn't play the other games either. But like still like everyone played it. That was the same thing with Persona 5, where Persona 4 was this special little thing, Persona 3 was this special little thing, and slowly and slowly Persona 4 gained more and more popularity. Persona 5 showed off its style and stuff, and then people loved it and gravitated towards it, and now it's this huge thing. Persona's huge here now, which is crazy to say. I would never thought that Persona would be this big. I thought it'd still be like a niche title series. So yeah, so given the climate back then in like 2010, 2008, Persona was smaller. So there are less of these, plus they're special editions, so there's less of them. I want to say I paid 300 total for them.
See, and that's not bad because I've seen those when you showed them before. Um, and that stuff's crazy in the anime world when they have these, they don't make a lot of them and then they just go out of print. So,
Yeah, I'm looking now. I'm only seeing the premiums with volume 1. I'm just seeing volume 1 everywhere on eBay. I'm not seeing volume 2. The only one that I see with volume 2 is is this the NIS version too? Yeah, it might be. I don't want to show it on here just in case. But just in case it shows like, doxing my stuff. Yeah, this is NIS. Okay, cool. So yeah, it looks like it might have only been available through NIS's store, and it comes with a poster as well. It looks for both of them. This is selling for almost $2,000. I don't know how much it's actually worth, but this is the
that's
only
insane.
listing with part 2 on it, with the second volume there that's on the top. Because I can't find the other one anywhere on eBay. I only just see volume 1 everywhere. So, not knowing much, I knew Trinity Soul existed. Never really watched it per se, but I knew it was there. And at the time, I was like, well, I have money. I have never seen this. I am never going to see this again here. I need to just pay the money and just get it. And that's what I did. I paid the money and I got both of those, and I've never looked back. I still haven't watched it. I need to watch it at some point. I'm planning on watching it maybe soon because of the Persona 3 reloads coming out here soon. So just in case they reference it, which I highly doubt there's any like ties to it or anything, but it'd be a cool little thing to watch. And it's not streaming anywhere, if I believe. If I'm correct, it was streaming on like Hulu and stuff for a little while, but not really anymore. So, yeah, that's my first thing. It's 2 things technically, but it's 1 series. Oh, that's why the 1800 one or whatever. They're claiming that it's new. That's why it's 2000.
Oh,
That's
wow.
much. Mine, whoever took care of it, it still has the plastics on the side. They just cut it so they could take out things.
That's super cool.
So like it still has all the plastic and stuff on it, thankfully. So it hasn't been like damaged really or anything. But yeah, Persona Trinity Soul. It's cool. It's a cool thing. I've heard the anime isn't actually that good, but it's cool to have.
I think, you know, we both collect, we have different things we collect. It is that moment when you're out somewhere and you see something, you're like, oh my gosh, I got to get this because I don't know I'm going to ever see it again. And on that one, holy right, you know?
So, side thing similar to that, I'm not gonna show it, but above, I might have shown it earlier when I was above. Similar thing happened with the Persona 3 movies. I found all of those at a single half price books in Minnesota. And two of the movies were like $50 a piece. The rest of them were like 15. I was like, all
That's
right, we're buying
crazy.
them. So
It's funny. I watch a lot of people that do like the flea markets and stuff, and the one thing they buy, it like if they see it out, anything that's like anime, whether it's like VHS or Laserdisc.
yeah,
I mean, they just buy all of it.
we
And
have
so
a ton of
like,
that here.
yeah, it's crazy. Like, and they're buying it to resell it. And I'm like, who would think that Laserdisc in 2023
I went to a
anime?
thing. I talked about it, didn't I?
Yeah, you bought one.
Well, like I talked about how I went to that it's not flea market. It was like
Was it like an estate sale?
no, it wasn't even a state sale. It was like a group thing. It was like a swap meet. It
Oh
was
yeah,
a dead media swap meet. It was like a bunch of like laser discs and VHS tapes and beta and all that kind of stuff. And
it's crazy to me.
it was a fun time. We didn't find much anime. I got a Diddy Kong Racing like VHS tape, like a promotional thing, which was cool. But yeah, no, like yeah, there's anime is always popular, and there's a lot of anime on Laserdisc in both English and Japanese. So
Yeah, they bought this group that I watch. This couple. I mean, they bought a huge stack. I've never seen half of them.
yeah,
But they were all on Laserdisc, which is crazy to me. So I don't think I could top that. But I will show these. So if you listen to the podcast, Ghost of Tsushima is one of my all-time favorites. And I don't like pops usually, but I own two pops. I own this. This one's a GameStop exclusive. Um, and this one I actually bought from GameStop before they stopped selling them, and it looks exactly like the other one. Only difference is one has blood on it, one doesn't. So for me, these are pretty. It's pretty big for number one for me to buy them because I don't buy that stuff. Um, but um, you know, I really, I really like the game that much to buy these. They usually sit up there on the shelf. They're not worth particularly too much. I think the one that is the GameStop exclusive is worth more. I've seen it between like $30 to $50, but it's definitely something like for me. Like I love the game that much. I have the vinyl of the game, the music from the game. So, um, but when I saw this one right here, my kids got me for my birthday. I want to say my older kids, and my son was like, "Hey, did you know there's a variant of it?" And it's this one here. Um, and it's literally the same number and everything. So 621. Just difference is one of them has like blood splattered.
do they both say PlayStation on the top? I didn't notice.
Yep, they both say official. No, so this one says PlayStation on the top.
Mm,
That's why this one's worth more. This one actually says Ghost
okay.
on it. So this one just says Ghost, and on the back there's no others, which there really shouldn't be because there was only, I mean, there was a handful of characters, but you know, they didn't do a ton of pops for this at all.
Yeah.
Just these ones here. Now I have seen another one, but it's way out of my price range. It's like $400 or $500. If I remember correctly, it was like all white gin
Oh yeah.
Sakai.
They do a lot of
Um,
clear ones and stuff too. I know for pops.
yeah, this is my extent. I literally own 3 pops total.
Mm-hmm.
The other one I own is literally Donnie Yen's character from Rogue One because it's Donnie Yen in a Star Wars movie. At some point, one day, I will find him somewhere and get him to sign it. That will happen.
I hope you
So
do.
I probably wouldn't be able to talk at all. Who am I kidding? I'd be able to talk. So, um,
That's
not as
true.
cool.
That's true. You'll go up to be like, "Hey, Donnie Yen, what's up?" Actually, wait, no. Let me do my impression of you. Hey, Donnie Yen, what's up? My name's Ben, and here I co-host a podcast called Get A Gaming. Here's my business card, and then he'd be like, "Who are you?" And you walk away.
I think it's funny the times I've met celebrities. Um, I've been pretty cool,
Yeah,
and I think they're a
I'm
little
not.
taken back that I'm just not like starstruck.
I haven't
You
really
know?
met many celebrities before. The only real one that I've met and like knew knew the worth, I guess, was Billy West. And even then, like I talked, but I couldn't really say much to him. And that was another thing I was thinking about bringing up was my Futurama thing, but I've shown that off before, so I didn't necessarily want to show that. It is cool, but
I think I think anytime you can get something signed, which it side note, I've seen a lot of videos of famous people not signing things in public anymore.
huh,
Because who was it? The lead singer from Third Eye Blind said,
mhm,
"I'm not gonna sign it, so you guys can put it on eBay." Um,
yeah, they might
because he was
sign
like,
it if you write to something, though.
"Yeah,
That's the thing. They
yeah,
won't blink sign something.
yeah." Like they may do it, but he was like, he was getting his stuff in the like luggage,
Hmm.
thing from getting off a plane, and he was like, "Look, I'm not signing it, so you guys can sell this on eBay."
Hmm.
Uh, and I was like, "I get it, I get it. You're probably bombarded with that." Um, it's somewhere at one point I had a CD signed by the entire group from Maroon Five
Oh wow.
because I worked at a place called FYE and they had the Jeep Outdoor Festival. We were working it, and they were at our signing tent before they were anybody,
Oh wow.
like legitimately.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so I think I might have given it to my brother. I
Mm,
totally got a write up for it though, because we were supposed to be like helping people get through the line.
yeah.
And I started, I said, "Hey, this is mine. Just sign it and send it down and tell them to send it back." And so they did. And I grabbed it real quick and I threw it in my pocket. And my DM was there. He's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I want to get their signature."
Yeah.
He's like, "You're working right now." I said, "It's okay." The line was ended. And so I got to work on Monday. There was a fresh write up for me.
It's
That's
dumb.
probably, yeah, it's dumb. That's dumb. I side note, but anyway, so what is your next item?
Um, it's a good question. It's a good question. So I'm looking around here. I have a bunch of things sitting here. So I'm gonna go off of this and take this out here really quick, just to make it easier. um. Oh man, this is not gonna break. Please don't break. Okay, we'll put that back. So one of my things was in something else, so I had to move it. So this I got semi recently. Um, I've tested it. It works. It probably has a battery in here that's dead. I don't think so. Oh no, it got resoldered. I think might be fine. Yeah, maybe. Anyway, I have a Game Boy Color here game here. I'm holding, and this is what's it called? Rocket Attacks? Attack on Team Rocket? Attack on Titan? No. It's the Pokemon trading card game too. It's exclusive to Japan. It is very expensive. It never came out here before. Friend of mine was able to get it from a Whatnot stream for fairly cheap. I think he got it for 30.
Oh wow.
This game I have tried to get before, and someone made the price expensive on purpose because they were, I don't know. I think they were a reseller as well, so they wanted to rev up the price because they were going to sell it on themselves. And also, from seller to seller, they don't want someone to not get a whole lot of money for something that is worth money and what I mean. So like I get that to a degree. But at the same time, let me get my deal because no one was bidding on this. No one was biting. No one knew what it was. And I was initially about to get it for like $12. And I want to say it went up to like 85, $90 or something. But
That's
the second time that we got it though, it was 30. So I have it now. It works. I know for sure. The Pokemon trading card game, the first one just came out on or recently, I guess I should say when we're recording this. It came out on Nintendo Switch Online, so you can play that over there on Game Boy. Be really, really cool if they just translated this and then put this on there. That'd be really, really cool.
I mean, how many times have we seen games from like Japanese games be released on there? Um,
Yeah, I mean,
you
we
know,
have
you
the
know,
Purian, or no, that's not what it is. That's a song. The panel thing with the thing for the Game Boy Advance.
yeah,
We have what else was it? I mean, Fire Emblem recently got that translation. You had to buy that. I think it disappeared eventually, but like that was a thing. Um, and then Star Fox 2 was a thing
yeah.
that we got like on the Super Nintendo thing, and then later. Um, but yeah, no, this is a game that's been on like my radar for forever. I've heard about it um like a long, long time ago when you used to read like old anime magazines or like magazines that were specific towards certain things. Like I remember reading, it was probably like a fan magazine, but it was official. Like the Dragon Ball magazines. I don't know if you remember reading those way back when. And you could get them from like Walden Books or like Barnes and Noble or something like that, or Borders. And they were basically like they didn't really know what they were talking about, and they're just going off of what they heard from Japan because there was no real internet back then. And so they're
Yeah,
like, oh, here's a picture of this guy, I wonder if he's that, or making up Super Saiyan, like calling like Super Saiyan 4 something else because they just didn't know. It's like the Peekaboo thing, like where we saw the Meryl and everyone called it Peekaboo for Pokemon
yeah.
a long time ago. So like I know I've seen this like somewhere like that. I've seen this on like the internet for tons of years and hearing about this like Team Rocket attacks or something. And there is like a fan translation ROM out there. I've never played it before, to be honest, because I just don't normally do that. Even back when, I don't think I ever downloaded it. Um, but yeah, having an actual copy of it's nice because um yeah, it's just been something I've been looking for a long time. So it's cool to get something that I've wanted for not a whole lot of money, and also just be it's just gonna go on my shelf or something. I don't know. I tested it though. I made sure that worked, so that's all
I
that
think
matters.
it's I think it's crazy as collectors we will spend money on things like that.
I spent so
Um,
much money today. Don't even get me started on that.
ugh, I bought. Well, I showed you what I bought. I can't even, you know,
Yeah,
and I didn't spend like a ton of money, but
yeah.
as collectors, sometimes we spend extra money on things like that. So it's funny you bring up Star Fox 2 because that
Hmm.
kind of segues into my next item. So it's my Super Nintendo Mini.
Oh yeah,
I I got this for Christmas the same year it came out.
yeah.
Um, I love this thing. I it's in the box here because we got the Super Nintendo for online.
Mm.
And to be honest, all these games are just I think pretty much everything is on here.
Except Final Fantasy 3
Yeah. That's the only
and
one
Paper
that's not.
Mario, no, and Mario RPG.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that is on here. Yeah, so I think why I like this so much is I also have the NES one as well.
Hmm.
Um, this was just like a perfect thing. And again, I got it at the peak, and it was crazy because like people were trying to buy these systems everywhere. I remember for the NES Classic, we would go to all these raffles for all these stores we've never heard of that sell mostly clothing. Like, oh yeah, you could get one.
Hmm.
Luckily, um, since he doesn't work there, I'll call him out. Spencer held one for me,
Oh yeah,
and
no,
he
he
did
did the
that.
same for me.
And he did this for my wife as well because she bought this and I had no idea. And I'm like, there's no way I'll get one. They're sold out everywhere. I
Yeah.
think this year was like perfect.
Hmm.
And I really did want like an N64 one. I thought that would be cool. But once they did the online thing, it's cheaper for them to do it. They don't need to make these anymore.
Yeah.
As we go through the years, you could not find this. Yeah, I mean, you still can't, even on the internet, it's hard to get it because you don't know if you're getting the fake one or you're getting the real one.
Hmm.
This one's real. Um, And the NES Classic I have the original one. So the crazy thing about that is when they reissued them to get them more out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
The plug on the back is completely different.
Huh.
So I have the original first one. Um, and people are like, "Oh, you can mod it." I wouldn't even dare try to mod these, just
Yeah, I
because
know some people have done it before. I just don't want to mess with it.
it's one of those things where if you screw it up, now you have nothing to show for it. But
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a really great idea. Unfortunately, now that they have it on the Switch, I feel the Switch is the best way to play it.
Yeah, for the most part.
But this is really cool. I think um, it gave you that nostalgic feeling of sitting in front of the TV and playing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, yeah, I love this thing here. I think I think I'm a sucker for nostalgia and Nintendo. So when they do things like this, I am like, here, take my money.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Same here.
so what's your next item, Alex? Yours have been like way cooler than mine.
They're not that cool.
I think that I didn't even know there was a second Pokemon trading game card game.
Yeah, I think there's only two actually. I mean, there's an online one that happened for a while, but I'm pretty sure, like Game Boy wise, there's only two of them. I'm trying to. Hang on. I might have a problem here, so we'll have to figure this out. Hi. No, I killed one. I had an ant pop up on my desk, which is bad because it means there might be more ants, and I don't want to be in the ant room again. So now I have to look up that stuff later. Okay, so I guess the next thing I couldn't find it earlier, but I have Chrono Trigger, the Super Nintendo cartridge. It doesn't have a sticker on the back, but it is real. I looked at it. I opened it up. It's legit copy. The regular label is really good. So if I had like a back label, I could just like swap out for. I think it'd be very nice, or just swap out the back with another back. Um,
I mean,
and
that's a good looking card.
no one would know the wiser. Yeah, and it's really nice. Like it's scratched and stuff, and like it has a little bit of like wear, like on the purple up there. Um, but it is it's the made in Mexico versions for the games, and that happened for the later versions of Super Nintendo games. So like that's the only version in America is the made in Mexico, and because of that, the labels are worse condition wise, just the way that they're made. So yeah, that's just a problem there. So it's worse. So because of that, you're getting you'll see more ripped labels and stuff like that, which you normally wouldn't see um, with game cartridges generally. In general, I feel like you don't see many ripped labels unless like it was like at a children's disposal. um,
Yeah, yeah.
um,
I think in Nintendo, it's for the NES. When you see those carts, they're also like totally covered in filth. Like maybe they buried it out back,
yeah,
you know, or the dog had it. Which I have had copies that I have bought, and I'm like, oh look, this one the dog ate it.
yeah. Clearly, the dog has touched it somehow. Yeah, I've definitely seen those before, and it's just gross, very very
Yeah,
gross. Um, Even my times of like working at game stores and stuff, like yeah, seeing 360 cartridge boxes and stuff. It's like, how's this yellow? Did your dog just like pee on it? Did you pee on it? Who knows?
I mean, would it surprise me nowadays? No, it would not.
No,
I think what's cool about that cart there, and I know you showed it to me before. Yes, there's that little wear and tear, but that thing is super clean
still
for as
works.
old. Yeah, and it's for as old as it is. I'm always impressed with like Super Nintendo and NES games that you get that look pristine. Like I think I showed you my Ducktales. I think it
Mm-hmm.
is. My Ducktales looks like it just came out of the package.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably the cleanest Ducktales I've ever seen,
Mm-hmm.
and um, And it's so weird because that game came out how many years ago? I mean, when did your game come out? When did that one come out?
um,
Hit you with some trivia.
94, I think. I think it was 94. It was a later Super Nintendo game, so like I can look it up really quick, but I'm pretty sure it was 94 or 95 because the N64 would have been out by 95, I would
Yeah,
think, at least in
95,
Japan.
96. But like
Yeah.
the fact that you have it and the only thing wrong with that cart is the back sticker. And even like the back sticker part's pretty clean, you know?
Yeah, it came out in 95. So, and yeah, it's not it's available. I also have the other version, like the PS1 version and the DS version too. Um I don't have it on PC or iOS, but I have it everywhere else. So, yeah, it's a great game, and I finally beat it, and I beat it on that cartridge, so that was pretty fun.
Awesome. That's awesome. So I gotta like up the ante because yours has been super cool. How about this? Copy of Uncharted, um, the Nathan Drake collection, signed by Nolan North.
Huh? Whose box is that?
That is the one you gave me.
Yeah.
So funny story. I think this is always fun when I say it. Like again, I don't when I feel like Nolan North is pretty famous. He's definitely a well known voice actor.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we were talking, I had my son with me. I was like, "Hey, I don't remember, but my son was here years ago when you were here." And I said, "You." He was nervous, so you told the Indiana Jones story. He was like, "Yeah." And so when we were talking, it was funny. I said he was signing this. And he was like, "So, did you guys see the Uncharted movie?" And the Uncharted movie had just come out.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "I haven't, but I've seen lots of things about it." And I said, what's the chances of another game? He's like, "If they call me, I'll do it."
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think 4 is it,
Yeah.
but if they call me, I'll do it. I said, "Have they called you?" And he laughed. And he was talking, and the guy next to him was like trying to speed it up. He's like, "No, no, I want to talk to him. It's okay."
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I always found really cool. And I think the cool thing for me is I've never got anything signed. I've never stood in line. We were like super first in line. The guy in front of me had a whole stack of stuff. Uh, he had Marvel vs. Capcom
Yeah, because he
3,
was Deadpool.
yep, to sign it, and then he had actually Deadpool
Mm-hmm.
game to sign, and then he wanted to get a picture. Um, but it was super cool. I think this is like out of my collection. This is one of my favorite things. I just ordered an acrylic case. Thank you, Mort's Garage, because I saw the people that sell those.
Yeah.
And so, but I think this is one of my favorite things. And if he is there at Comic Con again this year, I will probably have something else for him to sign.
Nice.
My son actually has the pop from Uncharted 4,
Mm-hmm.
the Nathan Drake one, signed to him,
Okay.
name and everything. I think it's way cooler than this.
Still cool.
Oh yeah,
Something
I
signed.
think it's yeah. This is something I will never get rid of, even though like they people sell these online, which is crazy. Um, but I think that's probably one of the cooler s- things that I have.
I
That's
don't know. I think this might be cooler. Wait, is it gonna be it? Let's see if this is it. Hang on. Hang on. Yeah, it is.
probably your stuff's been cooler. I
Oh,
thought I
never
picked some
mind.
pretty
That
cool
doesn't.
stuff.
That picture doesn't have the game in it. Never mind. I have a thing still in here that says Billy West, and it's a picture of me with Billy West from the Indiana Comic Con that I went to. But it doesn't have the game in it.
Can I, can I, can I
Yeah.
go real quick? Funny story. I was standing in line here. My wife was standing in line to get Neville Longbottom to sign her pop, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she's standing in line, and then this couple behind goes, "Hey, are you here for the guy that plays Neville?" She goes, "Oh my gosh, I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. I bought this pop just for him to sign." They go, "He was yesterday. It's the twins today." And so she got out of line, right? And she comes and meets me, and I go, "Why did you get out of line? You were like in the front." She goes, "Because I have nothing for him to sign." I go, "I'd have had him sign that because they would have got a kick out of it,
Yeah.
or pay to get a picture and then have him sign it."
Or like, yeah, because they have like those things in the front generally, like posters and things that you can pay and they'll just sign those for you
Yeah, I said I would almost think it's funnier that they signed your Neville Longbottom pop
as them.
and it's
Yeah.
yeah, as them. Uh and she's like, I didn't even think about that. But by that point, the line was stupid ridiculously long.
Yeah. And
And it
there's no
happens
way you
at
could
Comic Con.
get back in.
No, I mean, they were starting to cut people off because it was going into the con.
Oh yeah.
But she was like right up front because that's what we did. We got as soon as we got in, we beeline to that,
Hmm.
you know. So I always tell that story. She always gets frustrated. She goes, "Stop telling me that story." So,
Now
so
everyone
what is
knows.
what is your next super cool item in your collection?
How many things have we done so far?
Um,
One, two,
three.
three. Okay.
Just before.
Next thing, I guess. I want to end on a high note, so I'm gonna do these next. Next things, I guess. I have more of these, but and I've talked about them forever, multiple times. But I like to collect things. I like to collect Final Fantasy VI. Do you like Final Fantasy VI, or do you like Final Fantasy VI? Or yeah. So I have a bunch of different copies of Final Fantasy VI. One of the ones that I'm most happy with is something that my older sister was able to find for me, so she got it. And I think I replaced the game. Maybe I forget, but uh, oh, there's stuff moving in there, huh? But this is a almost complete in box. As far as I can tell, no one would know the difference. It's complete in box. It's missing the map. Or no,
Uh,
wait, no, yeah, it's missing the map. And I have like the guidebook and stuff in here too, or not the guidebook, the instructions and all the stuff in here. But yeah, it's just missing the map, and so that's really the only thing. But otherwise, I mean, it's a copy of Final Fantasy 3, 6, like the American version. Um, it still works. I've tested it. It still has saves. I have tested it. And then yeah, like I got this from the Japanese one. I got it from like a eBay store, I want to say, maybe online. But it's from like a con seller who I normally go to. So that's how I got it, and I trusted them. I trust people for carts and completed boxes, for Japanese stuff, especially if I know who they are. But if it's other things like American, I don't trust any. No offense, to the seller over here, but I don't trust anyone online to sell me cartridges. Like I just don't. Especially if it's something that is super rare, like something that I'm looking for. I'd much rather have it in person. I want to take a look at it. I want to inspect it. I want to make sure that it has all the right markings and things that I want it to have, before I take it.
and we've talked about that before. Now that my NES is getting close to 300, I'm running out of commons, and now you have to go to the kind of a little bit higher ones.
Yeah.
But all the time when you type it in there, you could buy Bonk on NES for $15. Um,
Yeah.
or my favorite is like Little Samson,
Mm-hmm.
for $15. Cards are different. I will buy some things online. Um, you know, I almost bought Ninja Gaiden 3 at Disc Replay, and I was like, I'm gonna just call Alex and see if he'll bring his kit. But then they were like, "Oh no, it's good. You don't need to open it." I'm like, well, "It's a
That's
$100
sketchy.
game. I got to look at it." Well, we tested it.
It's
Well, it
not.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It could be having a ROM on there. You could just. I said, but for $100, I got to check it. You know.
Yeah.
So
Would they let you open it? Like, do they have tools to do that?
they didn't have tools, but if I had my own tools, I could open it.
Would they let you?
So,
Would they be okay with you before purchasing it if you could open it?
well, here's the crazy thing, and this is like, now this has been a while, and I don't know if I even told you the story. So they would let me open it if I bought it first,
Nope.
and then if there was a problem and it wasn't real, they'd let me return it.
Nope, because then what's the point of opening it?
Right.
Like at that
Uh,
point, then no, I would rather open it in front and then show that it's fake, and then I know that it's fake, and then like because then you just have to deal like that's more of a hassle for them.
right, right. And I know before on their because on their Facebook they always post stuff.
Yeah.
You called them out for having a fake. Like
Yep.
you could tell from the picture.
Yeah, you could tell from the
So
picture, and then I was nice about it. I was like, "Hey, that's a repro, right? Because of um the plastic screws and all this other stuff." And then they're like, "Yep, it is. We marked it down or something." And I want to be
that's not the
like,
original price they had on it. They had a pretty. What was the game? Do you remember?
"Oh, I
I
don't
can't remember the name.
remember. Was it like
It was a high dollar game. Not like crazy, but
was it like Castlevania or something like that?"
maybe it was. Maybe it
Uh,
was.
I don't
It
remember
was
what
a
it was. It was something higher, and I called them out on the screws. It was definitely a Super Nintendo game. Um, I don't know. I wonder if I have a picture of that somewhere. I don't know.
well, I know you sent it to me because you're like, "What do you notice?" And then I called it out right away. Um,
Let me
but
look.
buying carts anywhere is pretty crazy, you know. Um, but if you go to a con and if you're like, "Hey, I want to open this," they'll let you open the cart, especially if it's something that's high dollar. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I was on a couple watching Retro Rick, I think it was, and he bought Zombie Nation on PS or Zombie Nation on NES. Super rare game. I think he got it for like $1,200. I'd be opening that bad boy up just to make sure it's legit. You know,
Oh yeah.
$1,200 is a lot of money to drop on a game that that you. And I'm not saying it'd be the vendor's fault, but man, they make really good fakes nowadays.
Oh yeah.
I,
Definitely.
I totally
Definitely.
threw you off by asking what game it was.
I
I
found it.
remember what was it?
Um. So one of them. It was in a thing with other stuff. So it was a picture with X2 and Super Smash TV, and then the game that was fake was Contra 3, the Alien Wars. And you could tell like immediately like here I'm not wanna say I don't know if it will show it. But like you can tell right there, like that's plastic on the screw.
Yep.
For audio listeners, I'm showing a picture of it. But like yeah, they're trying to sell this for 40 and it is clearly fake.
I mean, that's a $5 game being fake. I mean, I wouldn't even say.
No, honestly, for me, unless it's something that's not available anywhere, like I'd be like, throw that away, break it in front of me. Like you should not be selling this. This is not real. It's illegal merchandise. Get it out of here. Calling the
Yeah.
police.
Well, I think that's the thing is like for them, and I get their point for me not opening the cart, but at that point, I'm not going to buy it. And they're like, yeah, it's $100. You can return it. But what if I open it and you're like, well, no, you can't return it.
Well, the thing is that the thing is like I understand like they don't want you handling it because what if you break it because it's expensive? Cool. Then you the owner or the store or whatever, like the shopkeep, you should be opening it up in front of me then. Here are the tools. If you don't open this, if you don't know how to open this, you shouldn't have a store.
No, no. But I think, but it's not the first time that they've had fakes.
Oh
I
yeah.
went on a, I went on a huge tangent. I
No,
apologize for
you're good.
that. So,
But yeah, I already did my stuff. It was Final Fantasy 6.
okay. So these I did together because um, I love this. I think I probably play weekly on them, and I own two of the Evercade handhelds. So here's the first one they came out with. Um, this thing is pretty amazing. So it's cartridge based, but you can actually hook it to a TV as well.
Mm-hmm.
This one actually came with uh, 3 different carts. Earthworm Jim was on one of them.
Oh, no, the original one, right?
Yep. It came with Data East, Atari, and Interplay.
Okay.
Um, so they actually have come out with their own software as well. And then last year, I got this one. This is the newest one. It's the EXP. This one is much bigger screen. As you can see, there's buttons on the side here.
Mm-hmm.
I'll show it. So if you're playing a shooter, you can switch it and play it that way.
Okay, that's nice.
This has built-in games from Capcom. So the Capcom collection has 18 games on here built into the system. So like Street Fighter, R-Type. Uh, what was crazy was they have the original arcade version of Final Fight and Go. But the one that cracked me up was Mega Man X is on here.
Oh, that's really weird. I forgot you said that.
Yeah,
I
this
don't
one
know
has built-in.
why.
This one has built-in Wi-Fi and HDMI as well. I actually, my wife was asking for what the only one I don't own is the console one.
Mm-hmm.
The reason these things are so great because they're coming out with original software and they're also doing a ton of software that is um, independent. So
Mm-hmm.
they're not like the big, huge ones there. But what's crazy is they just announced not too long ago that they're going to release the Duke Nukems. So everyone remembers Duke Nukem 3D.
Mm-hmm.
That was the craziest one. But like what they're also releasing in these carts are the original Duke Nukem.
Oh, like the
Before
okay.
before it got crazy where he was throwing money at strippers or
Yeah, yeah,
saying
yeah.
that, but then they're also releasing the ones that were on PlayStation
Okay,
as
cool.
well. There's 2 different carts. So this company is just to me is pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
These here are pretty cool. I'm happy to have these. These are the first one is really hard to get now.
Hmm.
They just don't do a ton of them. The second one is where they're really pushing good battery life, Wi-Fi. There. What's even crazier is on the newest one, the more you play, you unlock bonus games.
Oh, that's kind of nice.
Yeah,
It's like
but like
the Playdate did that for a bit. I remember.
yeah, um, I think the fact there was like just getting some of these older games. So besides Earthworm Jim, they have like Booger Man,
Oh,
which was a
nice. Other
Sega
gens, yeah.
Genesis game. You know, um, some of these games are gone. Each one of the and get this, each one of the cartridges is about $20.
That's not horrible, especially if it's coming with multiple things.
It's coming usually with multiple. So I have one that has a couple of Double Dragons on there, like
Okay, cool.
arcade versions. Uh, the one that's really hard to get is they had one that had like the NES ones and the Super Nintendo Double Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
That one's expensive. It's like $300 because it didn't produce a bunch. But
Mm-hmm.
like they have a lot of like crazy games that were independent that you would never see anywhere else on this system. I tried getting the Duke Nukem one as a special edition one, but it sold out in like 5 minutes. So before I have you do your next item, crazy story. So I'm holding up the Evercade EXP.
Mm-hmm.
It's their newest one.
Yeah.
So they did a Kickstarter, and if you did it at a certain level, you got the special edition gold one, right? And I was listening to a podcast, and they were talking about, it, and they go, "Oh yeah, so funny story. They're in short demand because that truck with all the special editions being shipped out got stolen.
Oh,
Like they physically stole the truck. Um, when do you hear about that ever happening? That is like the craziest thing.
and was
So
it random or was it targeted?
I never heard anything after that, but they were like the problem was they had made these promises for Kickstarter, so they had to reproduce these.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think it was actually Greg Miller that I was listening to talk about it.
Hmm.
Oh no! It was Pat and Ian.
Mm.
And so what was crazy was is like even with insurance, they're not going to get the full total of what they were worth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they have to reproduce these. So when I got mine, you couldn't find them anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
They luckily they showed up on Amazon, but they were selling for more on Amazon because no one had them.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I always love to throw this story out there because I was like, as I was listening to this, as I'm driving down the road, I'm like, they stole the truck. Like they literally just hijacked the truck.
It's hilarious.
What is this, like
It's
Fast and Furious? They come up with like cars
yeah.
and jump on the roof. That shit's crazy.
I guess it's some sort of heist movie or something. But
I mean, it is. They're based out of Europe, so maybe that's what happens over in Europe. They steal trucks. I don't know.
yeah. Um so for video watchers, I guess you're probably noticing I have something in my eye and it won't stop. So we'll see how that goes. This I had surgery on too, so that's fun. So it's extra watery. But yeah, that's why I'm struggling. I guess this is our last thing, right?
It is.
Okay. So I talked about how earlier I had to pull out one of the other things in order to do it. So I mean, my last thing here isn't a big surprise, I guess, or maybe it is. I don't know. I don't know if it's on. I don't know if it's charged. I'll have to check. It's the analog pocket. It's
That thing
probably
is super cool.
so it's in its special case thing. I haven't touched it in forever, but I bought today. I bought some new Game Gear games just on a whim because I have store credit, and so I bought the expensive ones. I bought Shining Force, Captain America, and like a Bonkers game, like Disney's Bonkers.
I totally didn't even. I totally forgot they did a Captain American game.
Yeah, I've never played it before, but like I have. So the main reason why I bought the Pocket was for Game Gear games, and so I guess we can go through some of these because might as well because that's the main thing. So like I have Jurassic Park on Game Gear. This is a Game Boy Advance game, so let's put that back. This is a screen protector. Let's put that back. I have Batman Returns, which is a really fun game. It's really hard.
Yeah, it is.
I have Sonic Chaos. I have Sonic Drift 2. And I have just a bunch of other things. Mean Bean Machine. Sonic Labyrinth was the thing I got on my trip. I have a Sonic 2. I've streamed some of these before, like Power Rangers.
Did you stream Power Rangers?
I might have. It's a fighting game, really, though, so I didn't really play it that much.
Do you have the Power Rangers or Power Rangers the movie?
I don't have the movie. I have Power Rangers, because it's the Game Gear version. So the Game Gear version of Power Rangers is just a fighting game.
Okay.
And then the Super Nintendo one, it's the platformer and stuff that's really good. But no, I don't have the movie. That's a more expensive title, so I don't have it. Two of the things I really enjoy are in here, and I've seen gameplay, or I played a little bit of it. I have Land of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse. I guess I bought it for $15. And then I have this, The Lucky Dime Caper, starring Donald Duck. So it is a Game Gear platformer, and it's 8-bit, because it's the Game Gear. It's a portable, not Famicom, whatever that's called, Master System. It's a portable Master System. So like it's not gonna look as good as like Sonic on there isn't gonna look as good as Sonic on Genesis, but it looks almost as good as the Master System version. Because honestly, Game Gear games look better than Game Boy games, just straight up, like they do, because they're color and because it is 8-bit instead of 6-bit. I think is what Game Boy is, something like that. So yeah, the Game Boy Pocket or an Analog Pocket is definitely an awesome thing. I've been collecting more stuff that's handheld lately just because of it. And then I have the dock as well, so I can stream and do all that fun stuff that way, play on TV. And it connects fairly well. I've never had issues. People are having issues with others. But like I can connect my Switch Pro controller to it, and you can connect like a PS5 controller to it, I believe, and like stuff like that.
That's super cool.
Yeah, so just as long as you just sync it, it should just work. But yeah, that's my final thing. I really like it. Like I said, I bought stuff recently for it so I could play more games. And yeah, Shining Force, like that's an
Right.
RPG. So like that's a JRPG. So I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to trying
I
that.
remember playing they had it on Sega Genesis as well.
Mm,
I really wasn't into it because I really didn't understand like RPGs.
yeah,
Now I probably would.
yeah, definitely.
So I had to have something that's super cool, and I know people that watch the podcast live have seen it sitting in the background, but
Don't break it.
this, as the belt still comes out, is uh, a Ninja Turtle. It is a 3D print that has been painted, and it is supposed to be. Um, this one's Wrath, and I know he has several other ones, but it's
Hmm.
been painted as like Last Ronin, right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
Yeah. So this is what it is. So basically, he's got blood on him. He's all painted. So crazy thing was, I was in a stream on Whatnot, and I won this. And when I got it, I was like, "Yeah, we'll see what happens." This thing is the most ridiculous thing ever. As you can see, it's full. It's oh, as I drop stuff.
said don't break it.
Um, but here's what's cool. It's it's segmented.
Yeah,
So you can see there, it comes apart.
yeah,
3D printed, which is even crazier that someone took the time to 3D print these. So they were selling them at one point, and they were like, "Hey, we're gonna give one away." This is like
yeah.
early whatnot. And when I won it, I remember sending a text to Alex like, "Holy crap, I won this Ninja Turtle!" And then it showed up. It is very detailed.
Yeah.
Um, when people that don't come here often, or people that I like friends, and they're like going through my game room, my office, and they're like, "What is that?" And it's a cool story. Um, I will tell you, I think I have won some of the craziest stuff on Whatnot.
I was just thinking that because I just
But
remembered one thing that you won in particular.
yeah, so besides this, which I never win anything, let's just be completely upfront.
Yeah.
And so I was on this one. It was a huge one. There was a lot of people there, and they were doing a raffle. Every time you bought something, you got a free ticket, right? I literally bought Tron on PSP and won a PS5 unopened. And that's how actually I got my Xbox Series X. So, um, for $35, because I sold it to Alex's roommate. I said, "Hey, do you want this?" He's like, "Yeah, let me see if my roommate wants it." And I was like, $500. And then I bought my Series X before that because my wife, I said, "Hey, I'm selling it to Alex's roommate." Uh, and my wife's like, "All right." And so we bought it. But like, it was crazy because like, I, and then like, of course, after that, I won like NBA Live 98 for PS1.
Yeah.
So, but this was like really early whatnot. I don't think it's as like, I don't see a lot of prizes going
There's
out.
a lot of giveaways in certain streams. If you look around, shout out to Game Fox, who I always go in there to. Always has good Japanese stuff for sure. Um, he does a lot of giveaways like in between certain things, and they can be anything from just random like DS titles, or he has because you can do this now in Whatnot. Before, people had to do it a different way outside of Whatnot and stuff, like with your raffle thing maybe, but you can make it so if someone purchases something, you can have a purchaser giveaway now.
Yeah,
Like
I saw that.
so like there was a dot hack CD that was in there and no one took it, so I bought it instead. But like yeah, like there are opportunities for giveaways. It's just a lot of people don't do it anymore. Unless like they are um I don't know, unless they're cool, like, or unless they know that they're gonna make their money's worth with other things and they have extra material. Because I remember before, like old Whatnot was very much you got to have giveaways, otherwise no one will come to your stream.
Yeah.
Whereas now, no one comes to anyone's streams except the big
Yeah.
ones.
I remember the times I streamed. I only streamed like 3 times. And one I only streamed for like 5 minutes because actually Alex was in there and he's like, "No one's in here." And he's like, "Hey," I think it was like when Post Malone was on there
Yeah.
selling like he was selling like his magic cards or something. He's like, "You're not going to give very many people." And so I think that was the last time, but they really encouraged you to have items for that, like big items.
Hmm.
The group that I won the PS5 from, they actually own a store and they do these big things. And it's funny because when I was like, let's see if I get it right, and I'm
Hmm.
like, it's probably gonna be open or used, right? No, it's brand spanking new.
Yeah, it was.
Because when his roommate was checking it out, he broke the seal. Uh, you
Yeah.
know, and so yeah. Well, that was kind of just like a look. We wanted to do something kind of like a lot of these items we don't really talk about. We do our hidden treasures, and then there's times where people have been like, "What's the deal with the Ninja Turtle?" Or just like, "Why do you have it?" Or what are some of the things that you think are some of the coolest things in your collection?
Yeah.
So with the holidays, these are chill episodes that you can listen to um, as you're trying to go shopping or what. But yeah, we thoroughly enjoy this. Like again, this is a bi-weekly podcast usually. We talk everything from video games to anime to movies, stuff that we really like to talk about. We are on probably every platform you can imagine, everything from Apple, Spotify to Amazon to Pandora.
Yeah.
Definitely check us out there.
Everywhere.
We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter for right now, we're on Threads. Definitely go there. We're trying to build up our Threads a little bit. Um, yeah, and again, this is pre-recorded. This is definitely not holiday weather. I wish. So,
It's
was there
not.
anything you had to say, Alex?
Not much. Happy holidays. Get at it.
Happy holidays and get at it.